Welcome, amazing people. You know, this is a place where souls that are unsettled, people that want better, people that yearn for better, desire for better, this is where we meet and chat. And I know by now you have already known that this is a place where we carve our own lives, create our own lives, design our own lives, definitely with the help of God. When He says that He knew us before we were born and He predestined a good future, you realize that we have to partner with God in order to get to the good future, the predestined future that He has promised each one of us. Now, most of us stop at the place where we know that God wants us to have a good future, but we are not living the good life. He wants us to have life and life in abundance, but we are not living in abundance. For me, that baffles me, that makes me sad, that makes me perplexed, and that is why I will never stop drumming it into our heads and reminding us that there's a good life. And whenever I'm speaking, if you are new here, welcome to our family, our crazy family of people that are delusional in a good way, that believe that everything is figure-outable, that believe that we can live better lives, that believe in intentionality and designing our lives, living life by design, not by coincidence, not by circumstance. And if you are one that actually believes in that, so welcome. Let's build empires, let's build legacies, let's build a happy life together, because I know that it is possible. And I've told us that if you were the kind that was not believing, or you were the kind that thought, okay, this is totally out of reach, I can't get it, use me as the example. That if there is any better example for me to give, that the life that God promises and says that He will lift you from the lowly places and make you sit with the officials, make you sit with the kings, He has literally done that. But one thing about God, He's not going to be a crane that He's just going to come and lift you. It's going to take effort, it's going to take participation, it's going to take partnership between you and God. You doing what you need to do so that God will do what He needs to do in order to enjoy that kind of life. So for me, I am here. I am the messenger, I am the reminder, I am the facilitator, I am the guide. I am here for us to have this beautiful conversation. So this morning, or today morning, I was just wondering, okay, I've told people time and again that one of the quickest ways to make it in this world, in this age and era right now, is building a personal brand, building a powerful brand. But it seems like people just don't know. Maybe I've just talked about it and I've mentored around it, and I've mentored thousands of women that are doing amazing work in the industry, in the marketplace. They are transforming lives, they are satisfied and fulfilled, but they're making lots of money, millions and millions of money. They are living happy lives, they're living in happy marriages, they're bringing up happy children. It doesn't mean that we don't bump into things from time to time. Like, we live a normal life, so there's going to be so many things that are happening from time to time. But I will tell you that these women have carved out their own space, and they are so grateful that they actually did that, and they are going ahead to train more people, to mentor more people, and to be able to help more people to live lives of value, lives of significance, and lives that, they are happy about. And so after a very long period of doing that for people, I come back to the drawing line, and I'm like, God, you sent me to these people. Clearly it was you. When you sent me, I obeyed, and so many people have built their brands, and these brands are doing amazing things out there. Why is it that some people are not actually creating the brands, or they are not they are waiting until, it is too late for them? And I will say this, it is never too late. I have helped people create brands or build brands when they are 50 years old, when they are 60 years old. Yes, and they have actually, they have lived a better life, right after, when they have choices. And I give them tools, I give them strategies. So I just wanted us together to go through the benefits, to understand the benefits of building a brand, the benefits of building a brand. And this takes me back to some years back, as Our mothers, our fathers, if you look at their kinds of jobs, for those of you that had parents that were working, they had one thing that was so unique. When they got out of universities and colleges and tertiary institutions, they landed a job, and after landing a job, they worked that job until they retired. Now, those are baby boomers. Yeah, those are mostly baby boomers. They worked that job until they retired. Like, there was nothing like moving from place to place. Like, there was job security because there were a few people that had actually, gotten the tools and gotten into the school systems and gone ahead and, done whatever they needed to do and graduated. And that is where the saying goes, go take your child to school so that they can get a better job. So our grandfathers, our grandmothers, they took their children to school and they got better jobs, and they stayed at those jobs for the rest of their lives until they actually retired. Now, here comes the early millennials. When the millennials time comes and part of the Generation X, we get into the job market, but the job market, by the time you actually get to retirement, you have worked more than 20 jobs. You have worked more than 15 jobs. That means there is no job security. And it's not even just about the job security, but the payment is not that good. The inflation rates are very high. Money has lost its value. That means you need a lot more money, a lot more money. I used to see the baby boomers and how they used to carry on their lives. You get a job and you have an income, and that income can sustain you and can sustain your family because things are not yet expensive. So it's only a few families that were living a regal kind of life that everyone admired. They would have those old cars, and they would have, they would live a good life. Some of them would go abroad, they would visit, they would come back. They had trust funds for their children. Yeah. And now the Generation X and millennials get into the job market, and the job market has become something else. You work 20 jobs by the time you retire. You keep hopping from job to job because there is no security, number one, because we talked about the inflation, we talked about the economies and how the economies are changing. We talked about the money value and how it has actually changed. And, so it became a generation of people that were actually struggling, of people that were struggling to feed their families, of people that were struggling. And even if they're not struggling, because there are few that are in the high end, or the what you would call the first class tier, the ones that are not that suffering, but still there is no total security. There is no total security unless you're telling me that you're in a government job and you get free money, and then you get to even get more money without even any designation, and you don't have there are people that are living quite weird lives, and we will agree those people that at one point some people say they even have safe houses in their houses. They don't trust to put money in their bank because then it will be tracked and stuff like that. There are people who are living that kind of life that is untracked, and they don't know where the money is coming from, or they know where the money is coming from, but it's not straight, it's not a job, it's not anything like that. But I'm talking about people that have decent lives and people that are living with their values, with integrity, and they're in the workforce and working so hard to make sure that the ends meet. They are too busy. They have traded lives that some of them have not abandoned, but neglected, not even neglected, but they have very limited time at home. Every single time they are at work. And even when they are at work, there are threats over their lives, as in you can easily lose a job, and then now you have to go out there and look for a job and stuff like that. So you realize that actually happened. Now, the younger millennials, what happened is, when all this saga, all this lack of job security and all these money issues came in, when the technology came in, the millennials chose to say, you know what, I think we need to be really, really creative. If we are going to survive in this market, we need to be very, very creative. So now the millennials started another engine or another chapter where they were not just building personal brands, but building corporate brands. Yeah, back then it was more of corporate brands. They would build corporate brands, you know, because they had to compete in the market, because they had to set the prices, because they had to get people's trust. They had to get a following. They had to, as in people had to love a brand. And so they had to communicate, and then they were using billboards, and they were using, you know, the traditional media, radio, TV. They were using all those things. And then the advertising came, and the branding came, and everything, you know, why everyone wanted to carve out a specific niche in the market, or a specific place in the market, or a specific following, you know, so people can keep coming back to buy their goods and all that. Now, we discovered that we had to go from that, because again, that was also starting to fail. And so now people started to realize that, okay, now we can create individual brands, and they can actually be bigger than the corporate brands, bigger than the organizational brands. Why we are talking about this now is that you will understand the power that you hold right now. There are so many, even the CEO, we have seen so many CEO brands coming up that are bigger than the companies, or the bigger than organizations that they're taking on. Take, for example, Elon Musk. Take, for example, Jeff Bezos. There's so many people that you can look at, even locally. You can see that there are so many people that have come out to build personal brands, and the organization are leveraging personal brands and being able to actually take their goods and take their products and take their services out there, but riding on the back of personal brands. That is why we have come to an era of influencers. That is why we have come because organizational brands or company brands did not build a trust, and they did not have the relatability. Yeah. So people wanted something that they can relate with. People wanted something that they can trust. People wanted something that they can trust, that they can follow, something that is authentic, something that is relevant to them, and something that is, you know, very understandable. And that is why so many corporations and so many companies and organizations are running to personal brands right now, are running to influencers, to make sure that they ride on their back, to make sure that their information actually reaches home. And this is not information that is just local, but it cuts across border, because you can be, that is when we learned that you can be a person that can be accessed by millions and zillions of people across the world, that is not just limited to your country or limited to your continent, but you can access other brands globally, and you can be accessed globally. And now people started taking seriously the notion of building a personal brand. Now, those that have built personal brands, or even brands, the powerful brands, they are known. They are out there. People know them, and they are making money, and that is why I keep drumming it in, that this is an age and era where you cannot just go to an office and sit and fold your hands, where you cannot just be a CEO and just choose to be in the shadows, where you can choose, because anytime you lose that job, because you have a brand, you can easily be hired into another place. That means you are the biggest asset that you can be able to invest in. You are the biggest. I am the biggest asset. The biggest asset. All the contracts that I have signed, all the independent contracts that I have done, all the companies that I have worked with, they have not taken me in, or they have not consulted with me or come to me because of anything else. They have come to me because I have a service to offer. I have a personal brand. I am known out there. And so I can be able to even decide how much money, I can be able to decide how much money I earn for everything that I have done, everything I have done in my life. I have been at the forefront of deciding how much money I want to earn and how much time I want to give it. And like I have the location freedom, I have the money freedom to set the kind of money that I want, and I have the time freedom. I cannot go back to, not even go back, I don't have nothing to go back to, but there is no way I can take on a job, and I'm not saying that a job is bad. There is no way I can and say, you know what, you have to be tied down for this amount of hours, and then you have to be able to make you will be making this kind of money. It is capped to this kind of amount, and then you have to work in a particular particular office every day. And I was like, you know what? Now that I am living this kind of life and I have seen that it is possible, I do not come from a very rich family. It is actually it was the poorest family. So if I could carve this kind of life, that means I can be able to show others why or what benefits, okay, they can be able to look at me and see the benefits that I'm actually enjoying, and so they can be able to yearn or to even do the same and be consistent with it. And I will tell you, the more than 1,000 women that I have been able to mentor, I've been able to coach, I've been able to pass on the tools and the strategies, they are living a better life. They are living a better life. And so I want to share the benefits that I have seen, that I have enjoyed, that I know that you can actually enjoy. And one of them is the clarity of purpose. The clarity of purpose. When I got clear about my purpose and I wasn't scattered, everywhere, doing everything, let me tell you, that changed my life. It changed my life, because a strong brand defines your why. My why is I wanted women to live a better life. My everything that I work for in my entire life hinges around helping a woman create a better life for herself. Because I come from a background where I saw women suffer, where I saw women beaten, where I saw women apologizing for not doing any wrong, where I saw women endure in toxic relationships and narcissistic relationships. And I was like, no, the reason, let me find out, why are they even enduring in bad relationships where they're being battered, where they're being beaten, where they're being objectified, why is it that women are actually enduring this? And I found out that one of the reasons is because they actually didn't have any money. They didn't make any kind of living. They were just staying home and taking care of the children and accepting everything that was handed to them. And God forbid, if their husbands left them, they would start gnashing and they would start begging and they would start crying. Some of them would actually be very depressed to the point of even getting mad. And you cannot count and say, if you're not counting on yourself, you cannot count on another person for the rest of your life. Things change. I usually sit down with women and tell them that, you know what, anything can change. But the thing is, you have to be able to wake up and own your life and be responsible for your life. And know that even if your husband is working and he's so loving and everything, you need an extra income in order to live the better life that you want. If you need to be able to secure your future and look at your children and say, you know what, for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years, at least until they're at campus, I've been able to buy insurance for them. I've been able to put this money aside. I've been able to create this emergency fund. I've been able, as in, not to live a life that is constantly on a stress kind of, tenterhooks. Yeah, are we going to manage our lives tomorrow? Are we going to manage? Just imagine, both husband and wife, you're holding jobs. With jobs, you don't have any kind of security. The following day, they can tell you up and go, pack and go, and all of a sudden, your husband can pack and go, come back home, and because you are just there, doing everything at home, and which is a very good thing, but you don't have an extra income, that home now is doomed, okay? That home now is actually, now surviving, barely surviving. I have lived a long life of survival. I know what it means not to have food. I know what it means to have a handful of G-nuts that you can even count. Like, these are 15 G-nuts, 15 seeds of G-nuts or 20 seeds of G-nuts. And that's what you're having for supper with tea that does not have sugar. I know what it means for a mother to put on water, to bring firewood and put water on the charcoal stove that she's using firewood on the charcoal stove, and she has nothing to put in that water, and she has to wait until her children sleep one by one and take them to bed. And I was like, you know what? I have to recreate a different kind of life. This is not. I grew up in a generation where I did not see women striving to work, to women striving to, to build empires, to build legacies, to build safety for their lives, I did not see that. But me not seeing that did not mean that I did not get tired of the situation that I grew up in, and I wanted a totally different situation. And I knew that if I wanted a totally different situation, I had to decide on a different kind of life. So the number one benefit of building a powerful personal brand, for me, I had to understand and clarify my purpose. When I knew my purpose is to liberate women, to be able to give them the tools and the strategies of how to build personal brands and how to make money, both online and in the market, and be able to save their families and be able to save their children and be able to help themselves, then I was like, you know what? This is it. This is what I will die empty. I will give over everything that I have, everything that I learn, every new thing that I learn. I am actually going to hand it over. I have invested in myself. These things do not come easy. I have invested in myself, in mentors, in podcasts, in whatever what I have done, in books, in courses. I have invested in myself. But why did I invest in myself? To be able to come back and hold another woman's hand and show them the way, and show them that you don't have to live a life of survival, a life of begging, a life of depending on other people, a life that lacks vision, a life that lacks any kind of dignity. Yeah, I hated the fact that women were living a life without dignity, all because they were women. And I was like, no, something can change. These people can recreate their lives. They can live life by design, and they can be loved better. They can be respected better. But more than anything, who wants respect and who wants to be loved? If you can be able to take care of your life, that is something that is insane. That is something that is, if you can be able to take care of your life. But not just to take care of your life in survival, but to take care of your life, I believe, in thriving. And that is what a powerful brand can give you. Because with a powerful brand, that means you can start anywhere, you can sell anything, you can do, as in you can go anywhere, you can relocate and go to another country, and you will still be amazing, and you will still be powerful. But building a brand, it is multidimensional. It is not border restricted. That means you can begin anywhere. It is not age restricted. You can begin anywhere. You can do anything. You can be hired for anything, or you can start your own business. You can sell anything. You can market anything, for as long as you have a personal brand. All right, for as long as you have a powerful brand. So people feel scattered so many times, doing everything but seeing little impact. When you build a brand, you have to be able to niche it. You have to be able to find, a sense of direction and say, this is what people are going to know me for, and this is what I'm going to do. So many people, they have said the bad and the good. They have said, oh, Bahati is spoiling. While the men are saying Bahati is spoiling the women are saying, spoil us the more. But I will tell you this, there are some men that love me more than anything in the world. Why? Because I have given a dose of confidence to them. I have awakened a giant in their women. And these giants, let me tell you, when you are a man, you want a strong woman that can be able to build your legacy with you, that can be able to actually stand in the gap when things are not good. Why do men want weakling for women? Why do men want, people who cannot think? If you a man, you should want a woman that can think, a woman that can make money, a woman that can build empires, a woman that can make, that is a woman that is going to help your children create better lives for themselves. Because she is a nurturer. When a woman nurtures the children and she lacks confidence, and she's always belittled, and she's always looking down on herself, she doesn't believe in herself, that's exactly what she's infecting the children with. So you think you have money and you are macho and you are powerful as a man, but you are bringing up a generation that is already dead before it even has a chance to exist. You need a mother that can be confident, a mother that knows how to make money, a mother that knows how to pray, a mother that knows how to look after her body, and she's healthy and she's fit and she looks good and she smells good, because chances are those children are going to take after their mother, because she's the person that has given them more time. And children don't become what we tell them, they become who they see us being. So now, if you want your children to know that there is such a thing as succeeding in this world, you better succeed. When they see success, they will think that is the normal, and that is the way they have to go, and they will never know any other way. So you have the ability to change your children's life, okay? So you have to be very clear about what it is that you're standing for, but one of the benefits is it clarifies your purpose. Building a brand clarifies your purpose. Number 2, it has increased my visibility. My visibility. There are so many gifted people out there that remain invisible. Because no one knows them. No one knows them. They know how to sing. No one knows them. They know how to play a piano. No one knows them. They know how to play a bass guitar. No one knows them. They know, there are so many, they are good speakers. There are people that, they're just eloquent. They've never been trained, but they're good. But no one knows them. Now, for me, I didn't wait to be good for anyone to know me. No. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to bump into this thing. No one taught me how to do it. No one taught me how to build a brand. I didn't even know I was actually building a brand. But one thing is, I knew there was a problem in the market, and there was a problem in the relationships, and the women were enduring things that they did not have to endure. And so I was like, you know what? I am coming in. I'm the superhero for these women. I am coming in. I'm going to talk about relationships. I'm going to talk about heartbreaks. I'm going to talk about all these things. And as I was beginning to talk about them on social media, people were following. People were calling for sessions. People were inviting me to different radio stations, to TV stations. Why? Because I had a why. I had a purpose. But number 2, that purpose gave me visibility. And the visibility is because I was willing to risk it. I was willing to put myself out there, to be on social media, to be on Facebook every single day, saying something. And as you get feedback from people, then you get to know more problems, then you get to address them, then you get the visibility, multiplies to creating books, to authoring books, and to creating courses, one of them being accelerated mentorship. And accelerated mentorship, we have other multiple courses. We have the brand DNA. That is the best seller. The brand DNA, where we talk about branding, content, and we talk about monetization. 3 things: the branding, the content, the monetization. You get them under one bracket, and you do it for just 4 weeks, and you are good to go. And it is not that expensive. And so I'm giving you the benefits so that you will see that you are holding yourself back. You're not earning the kind of money that you should be earning. You are not getting the opportunities that you should be getting. The doors are not opening. Why? Because you do not have a brand. A brand is a living thing. A brand is something that is relatable. A brand is something that creates perception. It's something that is relevant. It's something that people need. It's something that people trust. All right? And so whether you're a business person, whether you are a leader, whether you're a minister, whether you're a coach, a speaker, it just doesn't matter which industry you are in. It doesn't matter which mountain of influence you are in, whether you're in education, whether you're in wellness, whether you're in the clergy, in the spiritual arena. It just doesn't matter. Build a brand and see how things take off. Build a brand intentionally and consistently and see how things actually take off. All right? So in this case, branding positions you where your audience can see you, That is why I'm so crazy about social media. As in, God provided a free tool. And all you can say is, I don't want to be seen. All you can say is, I don't think I was meant for that. I don't think I was created for that. So you were created for hiding? You were created for invisibility? You were created to be useless? No. You have so much more inside of you, so much more inside of you. You have so many experiences. You have so many stories, things that you have gone through, examples that you have seen other people go through. You have a lot to deliver, a lot of value on the inside of you. And some of you have tested it. When you talk to someone about relationships, they come back and tell you that it worked. When you talk to people about marriage, they come back and say it worked. When you talk to teenagers, they get focused. When you talk as in you have seen firsthand, there are certain signs that you have seen that you actually have something good. But You're just saying, you know what? Because of lack of confidence, yeah, you don't believe in yourself, because of fear, because of so many things, you're holding yourself back from even earning that kind of money. And then whenever you go to any shopping places, you're looking at prices and you're saying, no, I cannot afford this. You're living, you screenshot so many things that you cannot even afford, and they're not that expensive. They're not that expensive. Do you know that someone can screenshot something of 10,000 and they cannot afford it? Something of 20,000 and they cannot afford it? Something of 5,000 and they have to save in order to get 5,000? Let me tell you, there are people that are living below the line. But that is a choice. And I know that I will be stoned for this, for even saying that it is a choice. Staying poor is a choice. Staying poor is a choice. Staying poor is a choice. Staying invisible is a choice. Staying without purpose is a choice. You choose it, and you live a life of irrelevance, and you live a life that is not significant, and you live a life where you're not important at all, and you're tired of that kind of life. If you are tired of that kind of life, come, let's build. You deserve better, but you yourself, you are the one that can give yourself that better. All right? So, and there's this scripture that I really hinge on, and my whole brand, Matthew 5:14, that says that you are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. And I usually say that I am a city on a hill. And I think my husband usually says it. I think at some point, you know, he's not this kind of person that really wanted to come out in the limelight and all that. But he also saw a gap. He also saw men that were being misled, or men that were making inappropriate choices about their lives, inappropriate choices when it comes to partners, inappropriate choices when it comes to jobs, when it comes to making money, when it comes to creating businesses, when it comes to building empires. And so he was like, you know what? These men, actually, marriages are dying because of these men. Or, I mean, there is something that is just happening. And so he got out. That is why he started Inspire Men Initiative. It is a mentorship program for men. If you are a woman and you're watching this, you take your man into that program. Let me tell you, you will never regret it. If you are a man and you need the collaboration of fellow men that can encourage you, that can stand by you, that can keep you accountable, that can help you shape a better marriage for yourself, that can help you choose a better partner for yourself, that can help you parent better, then IMI is the best place that you can be. Okay, I have seen those men. I have hosted them in my home. They are doing an amazing job. But you know why? For him, it was purpose. And so one time he wrote a post on social media and said, it's not because we want to be out there talking about this and talking about that and talking about that. But if we are shaping a generation, then I am not going to hide anything. I am going to come out there, build a brand, put my family out there, talk about my wife, talk about my children, talk about, not because that is what I would have chosen. Maybe the former me would have chosen invisibility, would have chosen to hide, but I know that a lot is at stake, so many homes at stake, so many lives at stake. So if I'm the torchbearer, then I'm going to stand on the streets and light up the light. If I'm that city on the hill, I'm not going to hide myself. If I'm that candle that is supposed to light other candles, I'm not going to put myself under the basket, and I'm not going to put myself under the bed. Yes. And for me, it made so much sense when he said that. It's like, no, it's not because we want to show off. It's not because we want to, you know, if we had a choice, we would have said, we want our family to be invisible. We don't want our children to be known out there. We don't want. But we have a responsibility from God. We have a responsibility to shape this generation. And if that means that our lives must be out there, then we are going to do that. But that has given us a lot of visibility. You are the city on the hill, okay? And you cannot light. You are the light of the world, all right? What's the other thing that building a personal brand actually gave us, my husband and I, is the trust and the credibility. And the thousands of women I have mentored to build personal brands, the trust and the credibility, because without trust, no one invests in you, no matter how good you are. They have to trust you. So it took people, I mean, to see you on TV, to hear what you're talking about, and they are hooked. And when they come to you and you're able to help them with their marriage, with their single lives, with their businesses, and so they're like, you know what, I'll keep going. There's so many people, I've told you about the statement that goes around when someone has an issue in their marriage. Someone is like, there's only one person in this Uganda. And so I was like, but Ania Bibagamba, who told you there's only one person? There are so many people. There are so many people. But why do they mention that statement? It's because of trust and credibility. We have seen her for the past 15, 18 years. She has done this consistently and repeatedly, and she has showed us her values and her integrity, and so we can vouch for her. That is trust. That is credibility. Anytime I put out an event, anytime I put out a workshop, anytime I say I'm selling something, even if I'm selling a useless thing, there will be people ready to buy anytime because of trust and credibility, even if I'm selling a useless thing. Now, that is how bad a brand can be, because people trust you and they trust you with everything. They take your word as the gospel truth. That is why I tell the people I mentor to be very careful, with their words, to be very careful with their values and their disciplines and their integrity. Why? Because people are seeing, they are looking, they are watching, and guess what? There's a whole generation learning from you. All right, so you just don't want to bury them. All right, so a powerful brand builds instant credibility, and these powerful brands, you have seen brands, organizational brands, and then you have seen personal brands. But my own brand, I mean, the trust and the credibility is through the roof. And it's not that, I think in the natural state myself, I should have been so introverted and just, being by myself and just minding my own business. Yeah, but because of the calling, I am out there. Give me a microphone and I will explode. But I mean, in my own setting, when you find me, I'm actually very, very quiet, unless I'm with someone that I really know. And so I can be very bubbly and very alive. But in my normal state of living, I would have been a very good introvert that does not say anything to anyone. And when you look at Proverbs 1, it says that a good name is to be chosen rather than great riches. A good name is to be chosen. A name that is backed by values, a name that is backed by integrity, a name that is backed by a calling to help other people, and that makes a lot of sense. The other thing building a brand did for me was the higher influence. So many people that don't have a brand, they struggle to get people to listen to them or even follow their ideas. But because I created a brand, a strong brand, a powerful brand, people do not struggle. Actually, more people would want to hear from you. They would want, that's why when I talk about an event, you find people following me that we're not even supposed to come for the event, but they come to the event. They're like, you know what? I never get tired of listening to you. I never get tired. Oh, I tried to implement this and it actually worked for me. So a brand amplifies your voice and it amplifies your influence, and that is what it has done for me. All right, and you remember Nelson Mandela and how his name was commanding global respect and how everyone was gravitating towards him, because I mean that was an example of a brand, yeah, of a person that has things that they believe in, things that they're ready to die for, and things that their dignity and and that they're willing to uphold. And so everyone got to know about the name Mandela and what he was doing and how he was fighting, for the liberation of his people. And so it became a global concern, all right, and a global kind of respect that it earned him. You shall be the head and you shall not be the tail. No one listens to the tail. No one listens to someone who has no ideas, or someone that has not built a brand, or someone that has not said yes to their calling, yes to their purpose. No one listens to them. But if you build a brand, then your influence is amplified. People listen to you. They don't get tired of listening to you. They execute the ideas that you have given to them. And when they work for them, people keep giving me, I even don't know how to to properly blow my whistle. I think one of these days I'm just going to hire someone to help me, because I have so many testimonials. People send thousands of messages on my phone about, I mean, how I have helped them, how they have listened, how they have been watching, how their marriage has changed, how their lives have changed. But some of them I don't even post them. And yet that is something that you should have shown others, that, you know what, I mean, if marriages can change, then yours can change. It would give hope to so many other people. All right. So it gives you higher influence, because that's what it has given to me. It just doesn't matter which industry you come from. It doesn't matter how old you are. It just doesn't matter whether you're beginning from scratch, or you're an intermediate, or you are advanced level, at the advanced level of creating a personal brand. Wherever you are, you can create higher influence. Number 5, it helped me attract the right people, because when you communicate your message, and when I communicated my message, for example, for helping people that were dealing with narcissistic relationships and, you know, all the toxic relationships and everything, and helping people with their marriages and relationships to be able to not be taken for granted, but to live in a happy marriage, a lasting, happy marriage. All right. And to crossing over to helping people build brands and all that. That means whenever a message, because those are the two lanes that I write in, you building your personal brand and being able to build a business out of it and being able to earn out of it, and then helping those that are in marriages, especially women, to be able to understand that they can be respected, they can still hold their dignity, and they can still have happy marriages, and they can still get out of toxic situations, and they can have decisions. So you realize that whoever listens to me formulates a perception, or the brand makes a perception, and they feel like, you know what, she's the right person, she's the go-to person. So that means it has ended up attracting my tribe of people that believe in me, people that look up to me, people that love what I do, people that cherish what I do, people that would do anything to meet me. So it has attracted the right people in my life. When you build a wrong brand, or when you're just living a normal life, you tend to attract wrong people, wrong relationships, wasted time. Why? Because you have not filtered, you have nothing to filter. My brand has already filtered my audience. Yeah, my audience are people that love growth, people that love being better, people that love having better marriages, people that love branding and they want to grow and be able to be, you know, at the global level. So it has already filtered my audience, so I attract who aligns with me. That is why even when it comes to pricing, it is not that hard, because even when I say $1,000, someone is willing to pay it. When I say $500 for the middle package, for the full package one-on-one, for the middle package, when I talk about the beginning, whatever it is, people are willing, because it has already, and people align with my message. No one comes to me and they are out of my scope. By the time they come to me, they've already listened to me, they've already watched me, they've already seen my content, and so they know exactly what to expect. So that means they are aligned with my vision and my purpose, and so I'm not living out of alignment. All right. And you know, John 10:27 says that my sheep hear my voice, and they know, and I know them, and they follow me. As in, your people will get to know. And I say this to my mentees so many times, that when you start shaping your brand, there are people that will listen to you that will never listen to me, or there are people that will listen to me and they will never listen to you. That means we all have assignments. We have people that have been assigned to us. Yeah. And so it is our duty and our mandate to be able to help them and to hold their hands. All right. So they will know your voice. When someone speaks and they speak your language, they speak the real things. They speak the other day I had a session with a mentee, and I was just giving them an example that, oh, you know what, it was actually the very first session, and we were talking about understanding their niche, understanding their target audience, their target market, and then understanding their pain points, and then understanding the kind of solution that they can bring to them using social media, and then after that productizing the brand and all that. And so I talked about courses, and I mentioned a mini course, and when I mentioned a mini course, course, I mentioned about resilience. It was a very random. And so when I talk about resilience and we note down the modules and we note down, and this person was like, you know, this is exactly it. I'm so glad God brought you to me, because I mean, you speak things and I get goosebumps. It's like, these are things I have thought about that I have never told anyone, but now you're here telling them to me, and I'm like, God, this is where you actually wanted me to be. So you realize you will speak their language. You will speak their language. All right. And then number 6, for what has happened in my life, it is the growth of the brand into the premium positioning, the growth of the brand over time. You begin from scratch and people watch you, and they watch you go high. They watch you elevate. They watch you accelerate. They watch you, as in they keep watching you. But most of them they don't know where you are headed, because there is a lot of reinvention that happens along the journey. And so what happens, it has landed me into the premium positioning, where, I'm not competing with anyone. I'm not competing on price with anyone. I am not, like, I'm in my own league. I am in my own league. Because for you to starting to compete on pricing, that means you're going to stay broke. Why? Because you will have to go low for as long as everyone else goes low. But as everyone else is going low in the market because of the economy, for me, what I am selling, whatever products it is and services that I am selling as a brand, they are not affected by the economy. No, they are not affected by the economy. They are affected by the perceived value people have about me. So as someone else is bargaining and saying, oh, I can afford this, they will come and they will not bargain. They will take the course the way it is, or the session the way it is, or the book the way it is. Why? Because this is value. It has a sense of urgency and it is going to better their lives. So it is looked at as an investment in their own lives. So branding lets you charge your worth, not you don't beg for it. You don't chase for it. You actually attract it. All right. So that's why you see some of the brands that are really, really, really expensive, and you're like, why are they this expensive? They're not just selling a bag. They're not just selling wine. They're not just selling, as in, they are selling a brand that has matured over time, a brand that has gotten to a premium positioning, and you cannot fight with that. All right, you cannot fight with that. All right, let's go. The other thing is the consistency and the recognition. People forget you quickly if you don't have a brand, if you've not built a brand. People forget about you quickly. But if you have a brand, it keeps you memorable. People are able to refer to you about something you talked about a show that you did, about a shoot that you did, about your pictures, as in, people have something. You are in their faces all the time, so you are memorable. You are timeless, all right? You are timeless. So people can remember, just like we remember all the organizational branding. I mean, when you see Coca-Cola, you know it's Coca-Cola. When you see Nike, you know it's Nike. When you see Pepsi, you know it's Pepsi. Yeah. So you actually see that there is recognition consistently. There is recognition. Now, when you build a brand, you become there's so many people. I've given you an example some time back. I actually gave you an example some time back, where so many people don't have to see my face. I just have to be in a place and speak, and someone will say, that's Bahati, before even looking at my face. Why? My voice has been entrenched in their brains. Some of them have watched me every night at 9 p.m. Some of them have made it a habit to sleep while watching my social media, my YouTube videos. Some of them have listened to me on radio long before they even watched me on TV. So most of them, or they have read about me on social media, or they have listened to my nuggets on social media. And so people cram the voices and they remember them. And some of them, and I'm like, how would you tell that I'm the one without even looking at me? They're like, your voice. It's an outstanding voice. I mean, it's just, I don't know how to explain it, but it's an outstanding voice. All right. So the recognition is very important, because remember, the brand is not just for show off. The brand is to be able to transform other people's lives, but as well be able to be monetizable, to create profit and to create more money. All right. Okay. And then the other thing is, it gives you the confidence boost. For me, it has. The doubt and second guessing identity goes away. It flies out. But remember, For those of you that don't have brands, you're always in doubt and you're always second guessing yourself. But what a brand does, it anchors you in your God-given assignment. And so when it anchors you in your God-given assignment, that's why we say, don't copy another person. Don't do what they are doing. Do you. Be you. The reason as to why you can't even be consistent at doing something is because you're doing something that someone else is doing, not something that you love doing or something that is within you to actually do. If you're fighting with inconsistency, if you're fighting with, make sure that you actually know what the root cause is, so you know how to deal with it. And when you look at some brands out there like Joyce Meyer, confidence in her message drew a lot of millions to her. As she was speaking, she was so confident. Remember, she started her ministry at 44. Anyone would have thought it was too late. But she has made global impact and global transformation. All right. So don't throw away your confidence. It will be richly rewarded. Don't throw away, that is Hebrews 10:35. Don't throw away your confidence. It will be richly rewarded. All right. The other thing is a brand has actually helped me to open doors of opportunities. For those that don't have any personal brands, you can see closed doors and being overlooked and being not heard and not seen and not recognized. Yeah. But on the other hand, if you have created a brand, the influencer in you lands global opportunities and global deals or online because of your online presence. So you can do a lot more than you're currently doing, because a man's gifts makes rooms for him and brings him before great men. A man's gifts make room for him and brings him before the great men and the great kings. All right. So your gift, your brand is going to open doors. There are things that you're not going to fight with. There are opportunities you're not going to fight with. There are opportunities you're not going to beg for, but they're going to find you. Why? Because you built a brand that opens the doors. And then the impact goes beyond you. It goes beyond you. Because for the people that have not built personal brands, they feel insignificant and their voice doesn't matter at all. You've been working a job and you've been, in a family and but you just feel like, there's something lacking. I'm stagnated. I'm stuck. I don't know what exactly to do. But if you transform yourself and you're able to build a brand, this is what it does. It multiplies your influence to nations. It multiplies your influence to nations. That means whatever it is, the change that you're going to cause, the transformation that you're going to cause, it's going to be the vehicle is your brand. How it is delivered is your brand. Okay, so many people are going to know you for something. The impact is going to be huge. Long after you're gone, people are going to be talking about you. Even when you exist, people are going to be talking about you, because they are tangible things, amazing things that you've been able to do. So the impact is going to be beyond you. It is going to be for the nations. It's going to be for the countries. It's going to be for the globe. It's going to be for so many people. But the other thing that building a brand has done for me, it has created resilience. It has created resilience, especially in the times of crisis. All right. For the people that don't have any personal brands, this is what happens. Businesses without brand identity, they die in storms. They die during pandemics. They die during the economic meltdowns. There's so many things during the credit crunches. They actually die. But companies or organizations or people that have brands, established brands, that means they have a chance to actually weather the challenges and the storms that are coming to them. So for me, this has really helped me to stand the test of time. This has helped me to show up consistently. This has helped me to buffer anything. Maybe I would have gotten somewhere and said, I'm done, I'm tired, I'm done, I'm signing out of this. But no, the challenges just make me stronger. The feedback just gets me stronger. You can't imagine, some of you sometimes send me messages and you don't know I'm at my lowest, or you don't know that, maybe today was just not that good day. But when you send me messages and give me some of the testimonies and give me some of the feedback, I'm like, God, okay, at least I'm alive and I've done good, and there's someone that is actually thanking me wholeheartedly, that should count for something. So you see, if I didn't have a brand built, that means I would have been so invisible and so unheard and so unseen, and more frustration and all that. And I just don't want it for you. I want you to be able to bounce back and be able to be a better person. Some of us, because we don't have personal brands or big brands or powerful brands, we cannot even have the power of networking out there. You struggle to find connections, you find, but when you have a personal brand, you know, it becomes an introduction, because then you know your purpose, you know what you stand for, you know how to introduce yourself. All right. So I'm just making an invitation for you that has understood the benefits of creating a brand, not just a corporate brand. A corporate brand is good. I mean, some of you, just love it that when you work in places that are already branded and stuff like that. But remember, there's no job security. Anytime you can be out there. And if you do not create a brand of your own, it becomes so hard to weather the storms, to weather the luck, to weather the job loss, to weather whatever it is. If you want to build a brand, I'm giving you an invitation into the brand DNA, a place where we build the brand, the content, and the monetization. And so if you are willing to take that path and be able to look at your future differently and be able to take control and take charge of your future and the future of your family and the future of your children, the future of your business, the future of your company, I'm inviting you to come join us. It's just a 4 weeks course, okay? A 4 weeks course, and it's just going to change the way you see things. You've been seeing people do things, but you just didn't know why they do them. But here it is a guided step-by-step framework, and it is not that huge. So even if you're busy, you can actually go through with it and you can be able to turn your life around. All right. I love you, and I usually pray for you that the grace of the Lord will go before you and it will go behind you, that you will be protected and that you will flourish and thrive in the land of the living, in the name of the Lord. Amen. Bless you, bless you.